Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence, and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top trending topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. What do we have happening here? We're seeing this. There's been speculation that Tsahbangu has been poisoned. What happened, if anything? Then there is a reveal by Hopo Chingono suggesting that the recently demoted minister Shava from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the Ministry of Education is actually being set to be promoted. He cites that he is being set to succeed Zimbabwe President Emmerson Mnangagwa. What details does he reveal here? Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live right now. To those watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can get to see your name, so I can give you my shout out. Also, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe if you have not yet already done so that you never miss any of our videos, because we make videos each and every day. Enough respect to Nicholas Moyana. Yeah. Enough respect to Priscilla Chingweme. And Davis Sixpence says, I'm watching from Mutare. Watching from Maputo is Nicholas Moyana. So we see Hopo Chingono. He doesn't put a thread on X. It's an actual full jersey. This is an actual full jersey, not just a thread. What would I be saying here? Let's jump in ahead. Straight up. He writes, many people have been asking me why Zimbabwe's tyrant Emmerson Mnangagwa swapped Shava with Amon Murwira, moving Shava from foreign affairs to education. I didn't know either, but after some investigation, the common thread emerging is that Mnangagwa is preparing for the possibility that if he does not secure a third term, he would prefer someone other than his vice president to take over, just as Robert Mugabe was prepared to have someone other than his deputy Mnangagwa to succeed him. The idea behind moving Shava from foreign affairs, which requires extensive travel, is that he can focus on domestic issues in preparation for the potential bid should Mnangagwa's third term fail. Mnangagwa and Shava are the only cabinet ministers from the 1980s still active in politics today in cabinet. Shava carries the baggage of the Willowvale scandal that pales in comparison to the deep corruption in Zimbabwe today. The Willowgate scandal, also known as the Willowvale scandal, was a significant event in Zimbabwe's political history that occurred in the late 1980s. It would involve high-ranking government officials, including Shava, who was a minister, who were implicated in corrupt activities related to the illegal sale of vehicles. The scandal resulted in the resignation of 5 members of President Robert Gabriel Mugabe's cabinet. One of them, Maurice Nyagumbo, will take his own life. I wonder what he would have thought of today's industry looting under Mnangagwa. The poor guy died just because of a car. Let's see how things pan out, as we are not far from the moment of truth. Right now we're seeing ZANU PF preparing for their annual congress. And we have been seeing complaints on social media that some people have been thrown under the bus or have been left out the accreditation list of delegates to be attending the ZANU PF conference in Bulawayo. Now, one of these guys is a former vice president's son, former vice president John Komo, the son. His name is Jabulani something, but what he's mostly known for is as a vice president's son, Nkomo. There, he said he's affiliated to another faction, which is not the faction that is running the accreditation. Now, what has happened to Umsebenzo wa Tshabangu? What happened to Umsebenzo Tshabangu? Right? And also, speaking on Sengezo Tshabangu, who would want to poison him? So we see a post like this one here, which reads, this one is made by Shimama. It reads, "Morning. It is true about food poisoning and Tshabangu being. Is it true about food poisoning and Tshabangu being hospitalized?" Now this one writes about food poisoning. Food poisoning is not done when an external poison is administered, but food poisoning would occur when food itself, due to whatever reason, poisoning or ingredients mixing, the food itself becomes the poison. It might become poison before eating, during eating, or even when it would be in the stomach. Then we see another one here. What does he say? Tshabangu has been poisoned by ZANU PF. After using him to retain a 2/3 majority in parliament, he is admitted in hospital in Switzerland where he is on life support. ZANU Inojgamazai Ayo had lessons to be learnt there. When would he have gone to Switzerland? And if poisoned, who is likely to poison him? When would it be the last time that we see Sengezo Tshabangu speaking anyway? The last time we see him on social media is on the 15th. And he would make a post on x.com and he would write, "The ball is in our hands. We will make sure that we drive the opposition back to its glory days where everything was done transparently in the eyes of the masses. Nothing will deter us from achieving that super goal. We will all fish out negative elements unless they shape up." I think here he's talking to fellow stockholders in the Triple C, the not ruling party, which this guy would go cool baked beans on. Then we would see Nelson Chamisa out of the Triple C, and then he remains only Chamisa, leader of the citizens, now without the coalition for change. The coalition for change is overtaken by self-appointed Secretary General Sengezo Tshabangu. Tshabangu. Now this guy is brilliant. I give him that. How he does it, how he takes over the party. That was really brilliant. Now, two questions. Can Frederick Shava really succeed President E.D. Mnangagwa? Or can he be the one coming after President Mnangagwa? Because somehow, if it's post his term, it will not be succeeding, but the new president, right? But succeeding is all about taking over. Here it will be more like subsequent. It will be succeed or something like that. Succeed. All right. How likely is this? Given that this guy is a convicted criminal, right? And also other factors. And question number 2 is, Tengezo Tshabangu, how powerful is he? How much of a threat is he in Zimbabwe politics? And to who? Those are the 2 questions we're going to dive into right about now. Enough respect to Tinashe Madziva, says watching from Joburg. Ernest Matanda says I'm watching from Maputo. Priscilla Chingwe watching from Cape Town, South Africa. Allen Magombedze, Asangara, Lillian Mark, Tariro Chinyere. Thank you very much to Lillian Mark, says hi Doc, you're doing a good job. Thank you very much for that positive feedback. Monica Jakar says hi from Polokwane. Wengai Dandara says Doc, give us our daily bread. The Holy Spirit is our daily bread. And to God be the glory. For us having this opportunity to be able to interact with each other. Enough respect to Kain Thomas Nyawungwa. Glad Mo Ganyatira says I'm watching from Zerusta West, South Africa. Now, how is the situation over there in South Africa? There's been my network has just dropped there. All right. So there's been I've been hearing speculation that there's been raids in SA. Zimbabweans were raided and some kids were taken.
Maimiki munofara here ndikumbira kubatsirwa nemazano kuti ndozvifambisa sei. So patinogara pakaita pakareidwa pakareidwa neHome Affairs. It was on Saturday yatapfuura iyoyi. Pareidwa nemapurisa neHome Affairs zvese. Vakatora vanhu vanga vasina mapepa, including mwana inini ndakamuzvarira muno.
Now the lady is saying at a place we stay, the police would raid and then they would take my kid. I was not there, I was at work, right? So they were raiding people who are undocumented, right? And then they took her child. Now this lady, she will be saying she doesn't know how to get her child back and seeking for assistance.
So nasi Tuesday vana havasati vadzoka. Takambonzwa kuti vaendeswa ku children's home.
All right, so what we can notice from here, she's saying we heard they've been taken to how she's been dealing with this case is hearsay. She never made active attempt to reach the South African authority so she can locate her child born in South Africa, who is a citizen by birth, even though the mother may not be documented. Or wasn't she documented because she would be at work? How would the South African police or Home Affairs or immigration, whoever deals with that, know that she is undocumented when she is not there? Why would they need to be taking somebody's child who is not there? Why would they be needing that to do that? Then we see a family is posted here following that story there. So that is a family there sitting by a roadside, right? Then we see interpretation of this. What would happen usually in cases like this? There are places where people can just sit and wait for a contract, somebody to give them a job to work in their homes. So we would be seeing Zimbabweans seated in places like this. Not only Zimbabweans, no matter what, fellow Zimbabweans, we should never undermine our own. In fact, even if, let's say, they are in an uncompromising or compromising position, we should actually defend our own, because that would paint an image on us as a nation.
Hi. How are you? Shava. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
When coming up? Princess. Where are you from?
We are from Zimbabwe.
Oh, from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
How old is this one?
This is 2 years 8.
2 years.
Yeah.
And that one sleeping there?
Sleeping, she's 12.
And this one?
She's 1 year 2.
Does she go to school?
This one here.
That one.
Yeah, she just finished to write the 7 in Zimbabwe.
Oh, she.
So it has been long while I've been here, so I decided to take her.
Oh, she's gonna start school here.
Yeah, no, she'll go back to Zimbabwe end of December.
Oh, why she don't school here? I can help. We don't have money.
Then explain to me.
So the guy there is asking questions, genuine concerned, right? It seems like that kid will be there for holidays, right? She'll be going back. She's schooling in Zimbabwe, grade 7 there, but really concerned because of sometimes what we post on social media. People may be having a certain perception, right? Yes, if a situation is dire, it should be addressed as such, because some people would genuinely be needing assistance in whatever situations they would be in. And sometimes we Zimbabweans, we may not be in the position to help each other as naturally is in most cases usually the case. Now back to umsebenzo wa Tshabangu. Sengezo Tshabangu, how powerful is he? And to who? Sengezo Tshabangu, we see him now a prominent Zimbabwean politician, serving as a senator from Matabeleland North Province in Zimbabwe Parliament. He is a senator. His political influence has grown significantly, particularly following his self-declaration as the interim Secretary General of the Citizen Coalition for Change (CCC) in October 2023. This move allowed him to recall numerous opposition legislators, including 15 members of parliament and 26 councillors, which would raise questions about his legitimacy and motives in the political landscape of Zimbabwe. His background, we would know him to be associated with the movement for democratic change, but there are no details. How was he associated? Then we see him making controversial actions. His recall of the CCC members of the legislation. It was interpreted as an attempt to weaken the opposition, allegedly with support from the ruling party ZANU PF through coercion and corruption. And critics argued that he acted as a pawn for the ZANU PF, aimed at the decimation of CCC's influence. Then eventually he takes it over. On May 30, 2024, Tshabangu is announced as the leader of the opposition in parliament. This position, we had not seen it before. Of course, we had heard of it in propositions. Then legitimacy issues, now they are being talked about everywhere. At that time, then a little bit later than that, that would be last month, he would then receive funds from the political parties financing act. Of course, Ziggy, but the Ziggy money would be biggie money. Before the devaluing of the Ziggy, of course, Sengezo Tshabangu would get the money long before, so that he could be doing some things with it. Then we see one day civil servants get their salaries. The following day, the Zig is devalued. Basically, all their salaries are reduced by the same value. We see the Ziggy falling by. Now, how powerful is Sengezo Tshabangu? He is powerful as a strategist, somebody who can maneuver to steal a political party by hook or by crook or by duke or by shook or by book. But he did the shaking. right about now, he is influential. He has members of parliament that help in passing legislations. And right now, there are over 200 bills to be passed in parliament. And we've seen President Edie talking about legislations, and he talks of them confidently and casually, knowing that everybody, we have 2/3, they're going to be passed, right? So I have over 200 bills. I have to be looking into what's in there. One that I've memorized or taken an interest in is we see Fidelity Gold being exempted from tax. That wouldn't make sense, as it is supposed to be our highest earner. If it is, of course, it is said to belong to us and being managed by the government that is supposed to belong to us. Now, can Frederick Shava succeed President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa? Frederick Shava's potential to succeed Emerson Mnangagwa as Zimbabwe's president is uncertain, particularly following his recent demotion from the position of Foreign Affairs Minister. This very same demotion is being cited as preparation for promotion to succeed President Emerson Mnangagwa. This would happen on October 15, 2024, where we see him being reassigned from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade to the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, and swapping position with Emon Murwira, a doctor and a professor. This move is interpreted as a demotion, marking the third reshuffle during President Emerson Mnangagwa's second and last term. Shava has a long history in Zimbabwean politics, having served in various capacities, including at one time he is Zimbabwe's ambassador to China, a position that Christopher Muchanga at one point would hold. Then, at one point, we see him all the way at the United Nations. He's a representative there. Then his experience includes a controversial past involving corruption scandal in 1980s, which he overcame not by himself but through pardoning by Robert Gabriel Mugabe only a day after he is sentenced, and also through the passage of time, because this is 1981. Him being a potential successor, despite this, he's being cited as a potential successor, and some analysts are considering July Moyo. Now, when we did a video of the top 10 most powerful people in ZANU PF most likely to succeed Mnangagwa, July Moyo is one of the people in the list according to acceptance in the political party, political dynamics, acceptability with the international community, and acceptability with the Zimbabweans, right? All those factors would matter, because in 2017 we see the people would march in the streets because that would matter. Then we see various international communities like the European Union, the United States of America, and all those other guys that matter would matter. Now, the political climate, a lot of controversies in ZANU PF, right? A lot of persecutions of prosecutors and prosecutions, those things like that happening in Zimbabwe, and also corruption happening, and also alleged corruption. All those controversies, and Frederick Shava, the Willowgate scandal being tied to his name, it's highly unlikely he can be set to succeed President Emerson Mnangagwa. If that is the case, it would mean he is the only option. Such a guy would come when he is the only option, or maybe presented as such that when the real one would come, you don't necessarily accept him, but you would reversely indirectly accept in that this one is a little bit better. Let's just accept, right? Without accepting. Enough respect to Gledmo Ganyatira, watching from Zeresta, Northwest South Africa. Brighton Nyamba, I was just say Betwell Chimoka, watching from Mokopane, Limpopo, South Africa. Limpopo, how is it over there? Limpopo, I just assume it's a different area, which is in a different zone, a different atmosphere. I don't know what's happening there or what happens there, but I just assume it's a different part of South Africa that is different altogether. I just assume even different television, different radio stations that talk about different things, different focuses, different even newspapers are there. It's my assumption. Big up to William Elia. Adram Pofu says, may God help. We love you. Thank you very much for that one. That is Adram Pofu. Big up to Edmo Manduku, watching from Bay Bridge. XNXO, watching from Gokwe Nembuzia, using my Starlink kit. That's great. There we're seeing Starlink in Zimbabwe. And to God be the glory. Yes. The guys do accept Starlink. We rarely see things like that happening. Rather, we see things like when Strive Masio wants to start Econet, Mjuru would sabotage. Then Ochestera, the husband, Solomon Mjuru, into the Telecel deal. Now Telecel has less than 200,000 active subscribers. And Strive Masiwa, we saw him recently being listed by Forbes as one of the top 10 richest blacks in the world. Not Africans, blacks. At number 1 is our own Aliko Dangote. Him being on that list, that alone, even if he doesn't support a lot of more than 200,000 people, he's assisting with school fees, all that work he's doing, right? No matter what Apostle Chiwenga says, this guy has helped a lot of people, has changed their lives, right? He has created more than 2 million jobs. One job we would see of the 2 million jobs actually ZANU PF would see create is the more than 2 million United States dollar 10 that we would see them giving to Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu and the guys who print ballot papers, which were more expensive than printing money itself. Big up to Tambudai Marewo, watching from Botswana. Gift Mudara says Zimbabwe Citizen Party Forum from Mount Pleasant. Comrade Gift Mudara, Zimbabwe Citizen Party Forum. Okay. Sounds interesting. What is it about? Zimbabwe Citizen Party Forum. Big up to Farainika, following from Kwekwe. How is it over there? Kwekwe. It's where my father would school, somewhere there at Amaveni. Big up to Nomiasa Chitekura, watching from West Gate. I hope you're having your best times there at West Gate. If not, be blessed over there. With that, I'm gonna sign out. Dr. Clarence is the name. TV7 Live is the channel. As always, thank you for watching, and I'm out.